Well, welcome back, my friends, all to another rousing rendition. Choir boys, outdoors. In case you hadn't noticed, we do these renditions quite often. And as long as we got knives and a passion in our heart, we'll keep going. Today's is a little different, though. This is an underrated rendition. This is the Sylvanus. It was designed by Isaac Thiel, who is just an awesome dude, great brother in the blade. And here's the deal. Isaac designed the Night Hunter from Work Tuff Gear as well, and it's a beast. He designed the Sylvanus to be kind of a companion knife to it. Here's the reason that I'm saying this is my most underrated Work Tuff Gear knife. I was headed out the door this morning, and I was trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do for Work Tough Wednesday. Now, typically I've got knives coming in, or a knive's going to drop, or something like that, and I focus on that every now and then. I don't really have anything to focus on, or I'm in the in-between stage, so that's kind of where I was today, and I thought, man, what am I going to do? Always have a blast on Work Tough Gear Wednesday, always plenty to review. That's not an issue. As I'm thinking about how I wanted to go with this, how I wanted to do with this, I was literally walking out the door. I bent down, picked up the Sylvanus, tucked it in my belt, and headed out the door, and it hit me by the time I got to the car. I carry this sumbitch a lot, a ton. Now, here's the deal. I don't know if they're going to do another drop of these. I believe they should. Look at the tip. Now, the tip is specifically designed for hard use, and I'll try to give you a good look at it here in a minute. But the thing is, that's none of my business. It's really not. How they do their drops, when they do them, that I've got no say in that. I'm a YouTuber, right? But I am a YouTuber that really has had his hands on probably 50 Work Tuff Gear knives. We've got over 500 or 600 videos on Work Tuff Gear knives. So when it comes to Work Tuff Gear, while I'm not an expert, I've had my hands on enough of them to know what I like and to know a couple things about them. Why is this knife underrated? Well, it might not be overall, but I think it has been in my collection and kind of overlooked, which is ridiculous because I carry it a lot. Now, that can be a plus as much as a negative. And you say, Scab, what do you mean? Here's what I mean. There are times I carry this knife without thinking. More often than not, I pick it up, put it in my belt, and haul ass. I like the aggressive look of it, but I like the way it fits in my hands. It checks all the marks for me. I like a recurve. I always have. I always will. I feel like you can do more with one. Now, people are going to harp on the sharpening. All you got to do is just slow down. Your sharpen's the same. It's a knife. You just take your time and hit the different angles. It's in SK85 steel, which nobody does SK85 as good as Work Tuff Gear. That's been proven, right? But SK85 is an easy steel to sharpen in the field, so there's some pluses there. Now, I've got to tell you, I haven't resharpened this. I did my initial review probably last year sometime, stropped it up, and I've carried it. I've carried it. And again, I'll go back to the underrated. And the reason I say that, it doesn't get all the love. Like, every knife company has their designated heavy hitters on the designers. They just do. That's life. There's no point in arguing it. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just life, right? And then there are other guys who put out designs and things like that. Work Tuff Gear has their main designers. They just do, right? You've heard them, Alex, Dave, Zeke. Those guys put out a lot of designs. Great guys, and they really are good guys, and they put out great knives. But there's a lot of other guys over there, and I think sometimes I'm as guilty as anybody of not giving everybody their proper due, and I apologize for that, and I'm going to rectify that. How am I going to do it? I'm going to start showing more of these knives that I carry a ton. I carry this knife a ton. Why? It's compact. It will do what I need it to do, and you can see it working here. You can see everything it's done. Hell of a stabber. It's got a great tip on it. The damn thing came sharp, and I believe it's Scandi ground. Most Work Tuff Gear comes with a micro convex cutting edge. I don't know if I didn't go back and relook at this one. I feel like it does, but this thing is just a damn workhorse. Fits my hand like a glove. It's got a forward cant. It's got a great recurve. It's got a 90-degree spine. Let's go ahead and talk about that notch at top, because people are going to ask. Well, you can either remove a pot from the fire, you can strip sinew, you can use it to make cordage. There's a lot of different things you can do with that. And before anybody says it's a weak spot, because that's a weak argument, it most certainly is not. If you follow William Collins at all, he talks a lot about the harmonics of steel, and if you're going to baton, it needs somewhere to go. So we've got a built-in pot hook there, right? Well, if you look on a kukri, underneath the blade of a kukri, you always see those two notches, do you not? Yes, we do, Scab. Thank you. Those are to absorb some of the shock. That's what they're for. So while this notch isn't intended for that, it does that. It absolutely does that. I beat the ever-living dog shit out of this knife in the original review and here. Nothing. Now, it might make some fissures down the road, but I doubt it. There are knives that you can baton with, and while that is not a practice I do, like when I go out camping and things like that, I don't do it. I might make some tinder out of it. I might bust up some fat wood. That'll be the extent of it. But I'm a knife review channel. As much as I try to duck it, as much as I try to hide from it, I am. So I'm going to show you all aspects of the knife. Plus, you know that scenario that we always talk about. If you run off the side of the road on a mountain and all you got is your underwear and your knife, you want to know that knife's going to be there. If I'm ever stuck on the side of a mountain in my underwear and a knife, before they come and put me in a straitjacket, I'd want it to be this knife. It's tough. It's durable. Now, here's the thing. I did not plan on reviewing this today. I didn't plan on even taking a second look today. And watch now, we're going to beat the shit out of it. So I didn't pull any measurements. What I'll do, guys, when I get home, and it's going to be later tonight, okay? Today's what, the 29th? So it's probably going to be after 8 or 9 p.m. after this video is posted. I'll go back, I'll put the weight, I'll put all the specs that I normally pull. I apologize for that. But here's the deal. This was an impromptu thing. And again, underrated. Why would I call it underrated? Y'all don't know how many times I put this damn thing in my belt and not thought a thing of it. I really hadn't. You don't see it in a lot of shorts. You don't see it in a lot of reels. You don't hear me talk about it a lot. And I think that's because I've just kind of moved it over into that EDC realm, into my personal EDC realm. Knives that I carry a lot, knives that I use a lot, knives that I beat the shit out of a lot. I move over into another realm, you don't see them as much. This one is worth seeing. And like I said, I don't know if they'll make another run of them. I know they should. And I know if they do, I'll be front and center touting this knife. It's held up to everything I've thrown at it. And there are times, guys, let's just be honest, I'll put a knife in my belt, go out in the woods and just play with it. I'm a knife channel. It helps to have a knife acumen. This knife is easy to use. Would I carry it? I just told you 100 times. Listen, I love y'all. Thank you for hanging out. But now we've come to the most important part, guys. There was a time in this country where 22 vets a day took their own lives. Now, stats are everywhere. Coming off a holiday, that number's higher. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. Vets, we love you, and you got a place here. Guys, I back the blue. I talk a lot about it. People get upset about it, and that's okay. I'm not here to change your mind, and you're not going to change mine. I have my reasons. The whole back the blue till it happens to you. Well, what do we always say? It's happened to me more than it happened to you. Just know I love you. Not arguing with you about it. Finally, if you are an addict, and I am, never quit quitting. Well, guys, the Sylvanus, I love it. I'm scared. You're not. I'm gone, son.